Hundreds of students and not being allowed on the train. All right, I spoke earlier to Yashwant Sinha, former finance minister, external affairs minister, currently with the Trinamool Congress, part of the opposition. And I began by asking him that the government says that they're doing their best to evacuate Indian citizens, and yet the opposition is being critical. Why is that?
Well, I also have seen reports and seen the videos which have been uploaded by Indian students in Ukraine. And their number appears to be around 18,000. Not a very large number compared to airlifts which India had done in the past. And just to mention the evacuation from Iraq and Kuwait in 1990, let me remind you that over 170,000 Indians were evacuated from Kuwait in 1990, spread over, of course, a few months between August and October. And that was a massive operation, which was personally supervised by the then Foreign Minister of India, Mr. I.K. Gujral. So India has both experience and a record of bringing back people from wherever they are in troubled zones. So the 2-3 quick points which I'd like to make is, one, we knew that the crisis was coming. We should have taken steps in time to bring those who are willing to come back to India while the airspace of Ukraine was open. Number two, even after the airspace closed, we should have, our embassy in Ukraine should have arranged for the students to leave by bus as soon as possible, or by whatever means of transport was available, to come to the neighboring countries or Romania or Poland or wherever. And third, that the government of India should have been prepared with a contingency plan to be able to do it. They have deputed now 3-4 ministers to the neighboring countries to personally supervise. Very good. But this could have been done earlier, because the students are in a very difficult situation in Ukraine.
So you're saying if it's not such a big deal that India has managed to evacuate about 1,500 students, because close to almost 2 lakhs were evacuated during the Gulf Wars.
Yeah, I just mentioned that to you. And, though elections are still taking place in UP, it will be the height of tragedy if we use this occasion to propagate that the government of India has done a fantastic job for the UP elections. The Prime Minister talking about this in his election rallies in UP is not the very good thing to do. It is the duty of the government of India. You can't claim credit for doing your duty. Of course, you had to do it. So, as I said earlier, limited number of people to be brought back. All the arrangements should have been in place by now. The Indian embassy should have been strengthened in order to cope with the situation in Ukraine.
But the government has put out a release, and they have basically pointed out, sir, that India has actually gone much beyond other countries. Other countries have left their citizens to their own devices in many instances, but India has actually proactively evacuated people.
No, that is hardly a matter of satisfaction, that we are doing better than some other countries. We have, for whatever reason, a very large number of students who go to Ukraine for largely medical studies. This was a known fact. The government of India would have known, the Indian embassy would have known that there are 18,000 Indian students in Ukraine. And just as I said, in good time, we should have made arrangements to bring them back, even if they were not informed about the hostilities and the progress of hostilities. The government of India, of course, was better informed, and therefore they should have acted in time instead of acting now when a large number of them are held up. I'm also given to understand that there are some disturbing reports that Indian students are not being allowed to cross into the borders of other countries. For instance, in crossing into Poland from Ukraine. And why is that happening? I don't know. But I'm told by informed sources that that is because of the ambivalent attitude on this crisis that the government of India has adopted. That is the reason why Ukrainian authorities are not being very helpful.